Oh shit
Adam,
me.
you
Oh
fucking. Oh
shit me.
God. No, 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 no.
Oh wow.
So,
Well, wet
Adam.
setups ahoy, boys.
wet setup.
Wet
I don't have a
setups.
wet cell. Fuck.
Interesting prospect indeed. Hello, welcome back to another League Races. This time we're at TMC, and this time we were at Division 1 this time. Yes, I mustn't forget to change the name, but we are in France, round number 8 of Division 1. So you can see full, well, not full wet, well, it is full wet qualifying to start, but it's also wet in the race as well. So coming across the first lap in the wet, set a time. There you go. For qualifying sessions, I usually just load up the car with fuel and just keep going. But it actually did dry out, so I was losing time. And we switched to set inters, set that time, and then set another one straight after. See, this will be our last one of the session, but a little bit too wide here, and that will invalidate the lap, and that will be that. So there's qualifying, nice and easy there. So I think, where do we end up in the end? I think we end up at 11th. So not too well, no, not too bad. There's 15 drivers there. So so anyways, it'll be dry to start the race, which will be interesting, but it's gonna get wet. So excuse me, I wanted to do the softs. I think most people end up doing the softs. So there you go. Then that's where things stand,
Yeah, same.
and hopefully by the time the wets come, the tires will be fine, and so we'll see what happens. So load up on fuel, wet setup on for the race, obviously. So we'll see how we get on. So anyways, here we go then. 3 and 4 and 5 red lights, and away we know. No. Right. So explanation time. I've seen Hero Joke. So obviously Hero Joke didn't get off the line. And at the time I was so frustrated. Like, oh, how can you be AFK at a time like that? Or why does the game not ghost him? Here's the thing. He was actually at his wheel, at his error. I don't know if he uses pad or wheel, but he was actually there. But there's some sort of, I think he's on the wheel, because the issue was with his wheel. And literally, I've seen the video of him like pressing, like accelerating on his screen, but not actually moving forward. So sadly, I was the one to get caught up. I was the one, unfortunately, directly behind it. Tried to get out of the way, but there just wasn't enough time, and I didn't have enough reaction. Well, I mean, how do you react to that, really? Like, how, it's. I did react to it, but I just didn't clear him. So, and that was frustrating for me at the time. But after having discussions post race and such, and yeah, nothing really, nothing you couldn't really done about that. So, anyways, it was too much for me to handle the wing damage, so I had to come in and replace it, which is frustrating because this takes me out of the race straight away. But look, many would have quit in this situation. I decided to keep going. I don't know. We just keep going. Just keep going for the sake of it. Maybe a safety car will come out. Maybe something will happen. Maybe we can get some points somehow. People have collisions.
Just go rapid.
If you don't take the risk, you forfeit the miracle. So, just clutching at straws, hoping for something. So that's the reason why I kept going. So, but yeah, that's super frustrating because I actually quite like France. It's quite a fun track to drive, but yeah. And at this stage, I didn't give a damn about penalties. Really, didn't give a damn about pushing. I just kept going, make sure I didn't crash, and just kept driving basically until the rain came, until the race would end basically. So that's where that's at. I mean, not much more to say about it, really. Just wrong place, wrong time, I suppose. Anyways, lap 10, the rain did eventually come. So actually a bit sooner than I thought. I was actually a little bit worried that my supers wouldn't last until the rain came, but it did come, and eventually it did come to the point where we would have to pit. Still in 14th there, and finishes out of the race. We're running last, by the way. This is last place, so we're running 14th. That will change in the race, but you'll see why later on. So actually, you won't see why. I'll just explain it. So, anyways, lap 12. It's now time to come into the pits. I'm not sure who retired, but Yeah, we'll come in, stick on the intermediates. They still weren't ready for me. That my pit crew still weren't ready for me when they pitted my new teammate Sergeant Swade like 30 seconds late, like earlier. Like 'cause you could see his softs were still there, so that was unbelievable. So, so look, thanks for that, Forcing. Really appreciate you pulling through for me on my behalf there. You know, can't take tires and tires in 30 seconds. No, 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 can't be doing that. So anyway, to go on to the intermediates, and is this going to be the end of the race here? Yes, it is. So lap 26 then, lap 27. The problem a lot of the people in the field face with the inters is that they were. It was just about time. You see, Matt retires there. Matt had an incident with Perpetuum, where Perpetuum's made contact with him, put him in the wall. So that will put us up to 10th place. We will get a point for this, but the dilemma people had was that the intermediates. It was time for the intermediates, and it was just long enough where everyone, if you didn't make a pit stop, though, Sergeant Sway made a stop, Kevin Portugal made a stop, but everyone else pretty much, I think, stayed out on the intermediates they were on, which means they were super high in wear, and so everyone was nursing. You can see that 80% rear left, like everyone's nursing to try and get these to the end. I think someone else had a puncture, I think, as well. So it was kind of fun in that regard to see kind of how people would handle it. If you made a stop, you probably get a boatload of time, but like literally, like you can see on track there, Barry, who won the race, was just a few seconds behind us, about to lap us. So that's kind of how bad things went for me in this race. But I was kind of nursing I wasn't pushing in any part of this race after lap 2, and then obviously nursing then the set of inters if I could. So anyway, we overtaken Matt there on track. Matt, unfortunate for Matt that he got taken out like that. I would have got 7th or so, but look, this is why you stay in. Like, this is why you keep racing. There is just a chance that something could go that way, and look at that. My efforts are going to be rewarded with a point. So, horrible race, the worst race, the loneliest race I probably ever have, but maybe not the worst race I'll ever have, but loneliest race for sure. But kept driving, kept persevering, and I got a point out of it. So that's I think that's a fair reward for my endeavours. I know it's fortunate Matt was taken out like that, but you know, I can't control that. I can only control how I react to things, how I react to wing damage or being well out of contention by lap 2, basically lap 1. So you know, I decided to keep going and was rewarded with a point in the end. So look, I'll definitely take it, but of course I had to make it happen in the sense that if I quit, it wouldn't have happened. So anyways, there you go. There's the result. Carlsberg, Zero Mercedes, then John, etc. Sergeant Sway, my teammate there in 9th. The two Toro Rossos ended up retiring, so that was how I gained 2 positions there. So 2 separate related incidents, I believe. So anyways, not much more to say about that really. Not much I could do about that, but and not much a hero joking could do about it either. So oh well, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. That's 2 disappointing races in TMC in a row, so that's tough, but oh well, that's just racing sometimes, isn't it? So next up is Austria, so hopefully it should be a better race, but we'll find out, I suppose. So anyways, until next time.
Yeah.